So I'm Carol Hegwood, Executive Director of Distinguished Young Women, and speaking with Sophia Lin today from Arizona. So how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well. So let's start out with how you found out about Distinguished Young Women and what piqued your interest in being a participant.
Yeah, so I've actually grown up around a couple of Arizona state delegates, and I've been really lucky to have a lot of family friends who actually competed under the Distinguished Young Woman Network. And I think just growing up, being able to go to all the local and state shows really piqued my interest because I was able to see so many talented young women on stage doing what they love and really seeing them flourish into who they want to be. And I think the Distinguished Young Woman Network just really allowed them to show a lot of the talents that I'd seen them grow up with. And a lot of them have just been my role models. So things like girls from the dance studio or girls that I might have done speech and debate with. And I think just watching them be on that stage and earn scholarship money that they can put towards their further education was something that I definitely wanted to be a part of.
Wonderful. And I think that's great. I had the same experience. I grew up with the program being from Mobile, so I got to see it at the national level growing up. And so
Right.
that was the same sort of thing. You kind of grow up with it and then you want to be a part of it for sure. And the
Exactly.
sisterhood is something that you will see grow through your time traveling through this participation all the way to the national level. So great. So one of the things that we are kind of looking at as we go through this year is the ripple effect. What one small gesture, one thing that you hear or see makes a lasting impact. And so just hearing that, you grew up with it. But for girls in your area and across the country who may not have that opportunity to hear about the program, what is one way you think we can, girls your age and even on up, we can reach out and touch these other girls, let them hear more about the program and get more participants involved?
Yeah, so I think that a really great way to do that is something that Distinguished Young Women already does is by sending the state delegates into schools to have them talk to girls so that it's something that's on their radar as they're growing up. But I think even beyond schools, there are so many incredible public events that sending state delegates to could be really helpful for the organization. Like even just a couple weeks ago, I was at a Veterans Day parade and I was able to talk to a lot of different Girl Scouts or baton twirlers about the organization. And I think that's something that once they know about is something that they definitely keep in mind for the future, especially with all the benefits that the organization has to provide. And I think beyond that, really looking to organically grow some of this networking from different communities that delegates are part of, whether it's like local or state delegates. So I know that like dance studios or musical theater classes are a really great place because there's that talent aspect along with a lot of different like civically engaged young girls. So things like youth commissions or government organizations, things like mayors' youth councils. I know that that's somewhere that I will definitely be looking to advocate for the program. And I think there's a lot of like-minded peers in those organizations who are really interested in looking for that scholarship money or looking to make new connections. And I think really just growing organically or looking for those connections with girls who may already be interested in similar things is a great place to start.
I think you're absolutely right. I tell the girls as they're here in past years, it really starts with you because
Right.
y'all are right there with girls your age. They respect you, they look up to you. And I think going to those different events, sharing what this has meant to you, really impacts them and gets them excited about that possibility. So, and being in the schools, I'm a former teacher, so I love that idea for sure. And starting when they're young, catching their interest. So, thanks for those ideas. So now that you're the state representative, what do you hope to gain from this experience moving forward?
I think seeing how a lot of my family friends have gone through the organization in the past, I think more than anything, the organization really helps them come out of their shell because a lot of the things that Distinguished Young Woman provides women is the opportunity to do things that they might not have the opportunity to do in any other circumstance. So, I mean, I've had a few things for like college interviews, but I think interview is a really great skill that young women don't typically do at such a young level. And I think beyond that, making sure that we're maintaining things like fitness and keeping up with talent. Personally, as a competitive dancer, those are two of my favorite categories because it aligns a lot with what I do, but it also makes sure that I'm on track with all of that. And beyond that, I think giving young women a platform to be able to speak up about issues that they care about is something that I love, especially as a state delegate. So specifically, one of my specific initiatives is making sure that education is both equitable and accessible here in Arizona. So currently Arizona is ranked 50th in education, which is a little bit disheartening, but I think that just means that there is a lot of room for improvement. And given that Distinguished Young Woman is a scholarship organization that is meant to help enhance the future of young women, I think it's something that could use a lot of awareness, especially in a state like Arizona, where there are a lot of financial discrepancies when it comes to education. So I'm really hoping to use this platform to be able to speak up about specific youth-led causes here in Arizona, whether it's something that's being led by the Board of Education to make the FAFSA or other financial aid resources more accessible, or just speaking up about specific workshops that youth can attend to make sure that they're getting access to quality education.
That sounds wonderful. And I think that's what a lot of people miss with our program are the opportunities that are there. It is not just a one shot, you do it and you're done sort of thing. It's those opportunities to learn skills, our life skills academies and workshops that we put on throughout the state programs. I think are amazing how a lot of people say that, the interview skills, but you're right. People your age don't get a lot of practice for that. And that's something for the rest of your life. I even look back on and go, hey, I learned that there. I learned how to go about that. And so critical skill. And then I love that you're taking this platform and pursuing, helping education in your own state. We certainly understand in Alabama how it is to kind of fall on the lower levels sometimes, but it takes people like you standing up and saying, hey, I can make a difference. Here's how it's impacting me and reaching out. And I love that Distinguished Young Women is helping you kind of behind push and say, hey, here's an opportunity for you to have a voice in the conversation. Very neat. So as you know, one of the things that we do, a program for Distinguished Young Women, is our Be Your Best Self program. Also a great thing to use in schools with kids growing up. What would you consider, what do you do to strive to be your best self every day?
Yeah, I think that the acronym that we were taught was HAIRS, and I think every single aspect of it is something that every young woman should look for in their daily life. I think my favorite one personally is be ambitious because it's something that I'm always looking to be. I think it's just a little bit of my inner personality trait. I'm a very determined person, but I'm really always looking to be the change that I want to see within my communities. So I think as a distinguished young woman, being able to be not only a representative for other kids or girls who are looking up to you, but also representing people your own age. As a state delegate, I want to make sure that I'm amplifying the voices of all the other girls who are local delegates and making sure that as an organization and as a representative for the organization that I'm standing up for a lot of these attributes that we look for in our delegates. So I think this can be seen through a lot of different ways. Like I mentioned before, I'm a competitive dancer, so that's definitely something I will be looking to implement, whether it's going to schools to teach girls how to dance or do little cheer activities that can be related to the Be Your Best Self marketing campaign, or looking for different things that I can help them, whether it's with public speaking, things like that. I think all of the attributes that Distinguished Young Woman stands for is something that should definitely be brought into my life and also a lot of other young girls' lives.
Absolutely. So talking about those young girls you might meet as a delegate, getting to speak to them and talk to them, a lot of times we hear that girls are a little apprehensive about getting into this and participating because it's overwhelming when they see all of you and how well-spoken you are and talented. But, we want everybody to participate and everyone has something to offer. What advice do you give to those girls that are like, ooh, I'm a little apprehensive about signing up for a program like this?
Yeah, I actually had this conversation with a couple of girls who were actually looking into joining the program for next year. And I think a lot of the times what they say is, oh, I don't have a talent. And I think one of the main things is that anything can really be a talent. I mean, a lot of them are really great creative writers, or I've even seen girls who are able to read a book on stage and make it into a performance act. And I think it shows that there really are no limits to what can count as a talent, especially when you really want to put your heart to it and if it's something that you're passionate about. So I think a lot of these specific values that Distinguished Young Woman holds within the organization is something that every single person can take something away from. And a lot of the time, I think a barrier to entry is that concern over winning or losing. But I really think it's so much more than that, because when you're participating in the organization, not only are you able to get a lot of those scholarship benefits just from participating, but you're also going to be able to learn lifelong skills that you wouldn't really be able to learn anywhere else, whether it's things like interview or fitness, or really just being able to connect with other girls your age that don't go to your school or don't participate in the same things as you. I think those connection skills are something that I definitely cherish a lot. And when we were reflecting at the end of state week in Arizona, I think we were all able to reflect upon a lot of the things that we learned. And almost every single one of them was beyond the aspect of winning or losing. And it was more about the sisterhood that you're able to create. I mean, even beyond the competition every year, I love seeing past local delegates come back and watch the show, because you're really creating a bond with the people that you spend state week with. And beyond who wins the state delegate title, I mean, I think it's so much more than that. And being able to say that you participated in something and gave it your all is something that is really something that's heartwarming. And I think everyone should try, at least if they think that they should participate in something that they have a passion for.
And you're right. We always are so proud of our winners because you've accomplished so much, but everybody can take something away from participating. Like you say, there are scholarship opportunities out there for these young women, and you don't have to win a thing just by being in the program and the skills. And you're right. A lot of people see the talent and think, oh, I don't. But yes, everyone has a talent. And I have seen through the years lots of different, very unique talents come through. I love the year one of the girls did weightlifting. And I was like, I would have never thought about that, but I weightlift. And it's definitely a talent. And she did it in such an entertaining way. And so you're right. Anything you do, you just sometimes have to be creative, but you can turn it into a talent and show us, what you're good at. And so I love that. And I love that you're already recruiting and spreading the word out there to people. So believe it or not, you're about halfway through your senior year. Hard to believe, I'm sure, but what are you looking forward to at the end of your senior year and kind of the last half of the year? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, so my school actually, we graduate in like the early February, end of January times, which is really absurd, but it's really great because we cram a lot of our harder classes into the first 2 years of high school. So we're able to kind of get into the real world at the end of senior year. So I'm looking for some internships that I can potentially do, maybe get like a retail job too while I'm at it. But I'm someone who's very interested in policy and politics. So I'm looking to intern for maybe a congressman or a senator like I did last summer, and really get some hands-on work after I've finished all of my school curriculum. And then obviously trying to just hang out with my friends during my last senior year and potentially travel to a couple new places because I have a lot of that free time. But beyond that, I think senior year is just a really great time to pick up some more leadership opportunities within my community. I know that I've been working with the Governor's Youth Commission here in Arizona for the past 3 years. So now as vice president, I'm able to oversee a lot of the statewide initiatives that our youth are coming up with. So I think it's just a really great time to be able to look into how youth can be more civically and legislatively engaged within Arizona. But yeah, senior year should be pretty fun. I have a lot lined up. But on top of all that, we have college applications, so should all be coming out pretty soon.
Wow, that is a unique way of doing it, but kind of fun for y'all because you get to absolutely experience some other things. So you said travel. Is there a particular place you'd like to travel to?
I think I want to go back to China and visit some of my family members because I haven't been in a while. And then my parents said I could go somewhere tropical for my senior trip. So maybe Fiji or Hawaii. I don't know.
Absolutely. Both sound really good. We're actually having cool weather here now. So,
Oh, yes.
yeah, yes. So that being said, I know college and your major is certainly on your mind. What are your plans for the future?
I'd say my top college right now is probably Stanford University. And then I know that Yale also has a really great poli-sci and policy department. But I'm pretty open. I'm applying to like more than 20 schools, so we'll see how that all goes. I'm hoping to major in public policy and then maybe also do data science because I really like that like interdisciplinary approach between humanities and STEM. But I'm pretty sure I'll change that major a couple times before I graduate college. So we'll all see where it goes.
Good to keep your options open. You never know what might pop up that you're interested in. So good for you. Well, as you're getting ready, you're wrapping up your high school year and looking forward. How are you preparing for nationals in June?
I think more than anything, I'm really just trying to get out into my community because I think those experiences are some of the best. One of my personal favorite stages of competition is interviews. So I think really cultivating those stories and gathering experiences from my community is the best thing that I can do for that interview. I like to have like a more natural approach to that. So I don't think I'll do like a ton of like interview quiz prep, but I'll try to just gather as many experiences as I can. And then making sure to just stay on top of dance. We do a lot of conditioning at dance, so it's really good for fitness. And then I do a lot of speech and debate. I'll probably be traveling to a couple of different national competitions like Harvard soon in the next semester. So that should be a good amount of prep for self-expression. But I think really just making sure that I'm making the most out of my title so I can come to nationals with those experiences and just be ready to connect with all of my sister delegates.
Well, you sound like you have a busy schedule, and
Yes.
we cannot wait to have you here in Mobile with us in June. And thank you for your time today, and we will see you in a few months.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.